Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel where I will be crocheting it forward in this video by showing you how to make two different winter scarves. One actually is a cowl right here. I don't know if you can see that. Got this up a little bit with some fringe in the front, and this is an infinity scarf, and both are using my mile a minute patterns. And they work up super quick. They have 2 strands of yarn, and they're going to be super warm, especially with the winter coming. So I just wanted to share this. I'm really excited about it, and let's get to it. Okay, so the materials you're going to need are going to be a crochet hook that is an N or P 10.0 millimeter. You're going to need a sewing needle for your ends and some scissors. Now this is worked up in 2 strands. You can do the same color as I did in this one. I think it's coral, the color, or you could do 2 strands of 2 different colors. This is a gray, a light gray and a dark gray. So it's totally up to you. You know, I encourage everyone to experiment. So let's get our slip knot. We're going to chain 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, and then in your first, second, third chain from your hook, we're going to make 3 double crochets or a cluster. 1, 2, 3. We're going to chain 2, and then we're going to make another 3 double crochets. Oops. Yarn is coming apart here. 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip 2 chains, and in that third chain you're going to slip stitch, and then in the next chain we're going to half double crochet, next chain slip stitch, skip 2 chains, and in the next chain make another corner cluster, which is what we just did. And that was by making 3 double crochets in the same stitch. A chain 2, and 3 double crochets. Okay, and then that should leave us, if you skip the next 2, and then you want to slip stitch in that last chain, which is actually the first chain, and sometimes it will automatically just turn, your work will turn upside down, and that's what we need it to do. We need these points facing down right here. They need to go facing down. So we're going to chain 2 and make another cluster in this space, and that's 3 double crochets, chain 2, get some more yarn here. Okay, and then another 3 double crochets in that same space. Okay, and in the single crochet we have the slip stitches, and then the single the half, did I do a half double crochet? I think I did a half double crochet. Anyway, we're going to go in there and make our V stitch. Now the V stitch is not going to have a chain 1 in the middle. It's just going to have 2 double crochets in that same stitch, but when we come back in our next row, we're going to do another 2 double crochets in there, and then it'll start looking like our V-stitch. And then in the next space, from the previous row, we're going to go ahead and make another corner cluster, and that's 3 double crochets, a chain 2, and 3 double crochets. Okay, and then in the third stitch, I'll grab some more yarn. These are Caron. This is Caron 1 pound yarn that I'm using. Let's see, and in that third stitch, right here, I think it's at the base of this chain right here. Remember we did that, skip that chain. There'll be more clear which stitch to go into after this row. We're going to double crochet. Now this is going to be the repeat. You're going to always chain 2 at the end of a row, turn over, and then the spaces we're going to be working in are going to be in here, the chain 2 space, your double crochet, 2 double crochet space, and then your other chain 2 space. That is it. And then we'll chain 2, turn your work, and then you'll repeat. So once again, I'll review with you real quick. We'll be making a corner cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets. And if you're not used to working with double yarn, it can be a little challenging. If you want to experiment, you can bump up the hook maybe to an 11 or 12 millimeter. You'll just have to do less rows, I would imagine. So from here, after you get your corner cluster, we're going to go right into our V-stitch from the previous row, which is our 2 double crochets, and then make 2 double crochets. Okay, you see how it's looking like a V-stitch right there? And then jump right into our chain 2 space, and then make another corner cluster of 3 double crochets, a chain 2, and 3 double crochets. This is super duper easy. It works up super fast. I guarantee you, you are going to be very, very pleased with these, with this scarf and the cowl. They are going to keep you so warm. They're going to make perfect Christmas gifts. Anybody got a birthday around the holidays? They're going to really, really make a good gift. So from here, you see your 3 double crochet cluster over here. You're just going to always double crochet in the 1, 2, 3rd. Always. And I also suggest that you make these chain 2 spaces a little loose. Okay, just like that. And you just repeat. Repeat till you get 50 rows back and forth, and I'll meet you back. Okay guys, I just finished excuse me, my 50th short row, and I just wanted to mention, be sure that you are counting this very first row right here that we did as one of the rows, and then go up here and do 50. So as you can see, it's pretty long, and keep in mind that we are going to wrap this twice around our neck. Okay, so now we're going to do the siding. And what I like to do is put a little stitch marker so I know, or a piece of a strand of a different color, a pin, a paper clip, anything that you want. Okay, so immediately from here I'm going to chain 1, and then we're going to make just 2 single crochets going down the side. Now this is either going to be, because we were turning, it's either going to be a chain 2 or a double crochet. These big spaces right here is where you want to make your 2 single crochets, not this little one, which can be confusing sometimes. So that's all we're going to do, is go down the side and make 2 single crochets, and when you get to the end, I will meet you back and I'll show you how to do the end part. Okay guys, so we just finished our side of 2 single crochets in between the double crochet or chain 2. Right here we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, move into the center of our cluster and make 2 single crochets, We're going to chain 2, move at the very bottom of, well, it's at the top of your V-stitch, which is upside down right now. Actually, this is like the chain, I believe. So we're going to make our V-stitch. We're going to chain 2 and then make 2 single crochets in the chain 2 space. We're going to chain 3 just like we did on the other side, and then 1, 2, 3 right here, like we've been doing. We're just going to slip stitch. Now we're going to move into our next space, chain 2 or double crochet space, slip stitch, chain 1, and make 2 single crochets, and then carry on like you've done with the other side. So I will meet you at the end when we will connect our infinity scarf. Okay, so I just finished up the side, and we're just going to duplicate what we did from the other end, and that is chain 3. We're going to get into our first in the middle space of our first cluster and make 2 single crochets, chain 2, and then right here in this stitch on top of the V-stitch we're going to make a V-stitch, we're going to chain 2, go into our next chain 2 space in between our clusters, make 2 single crochets, and then chain 3, just like we did with the other one. And then we are going to slip stitch 1, 2, 3. Actually, let's slip stitch right here where I have my marker at. Hold on a second. Okay. Okay, so the next thing you want to do is get your other end and get them together, and you want to lift your yarn up a little bit and turn it around, because now we're going to join. Okay, get your yarn behind you, get your ends out the way. Okay, so now from here we are going to do some single crochets. So we have the chain 3s right here lined up, our single crochets, chains, V-stitch, chains, single crochets, all of that is lined up around there. Okay, so in our chain 3 spaces we're just going to make 1, 2, 3 single crochets. It's going to be kind of tedious, I'm just letting you know. And then we're going to skip a stitch right here, and in this middle stitch we're going to make a single crochet, and just match them up. Okay, in our chain 2 spaces we're going to go ahead and make another chain, two single crochets, I'm sorry. Okay, in our V-stitch we're just going to make a single crochet through both of these V's. 1 single crochet, 2 single crochets in the spaces where our chain 2s are. I hope my yarn is not getting tangled up here. Okay, and then in that middle stitch where our single crochets are, match those up, make another single crochet, oops, sorry, not even on camera, and then make 3 single crochets in the last chain 3 spaces. And I was afraid this was going to happen on camera. My yarn got twisted up here, so I appreciate everybody's patience right when I'm at the end. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3. We're going to chain 1, and then we're just going to fasten off. And you can hide your ends, and that's how it's brought together. And this is going to be, obviously you're going to move that inside out, and that's going to be where the back is. This will be laying in the back of your neck. So let me get my materials together so we can move on to our cowl. But before that, I will let you know what this looks like on the mannequin I have. Hang on. Okay guys, that's what it looks like. We've wrapped it around our neck twice with the join in the back. So let's move on to our cowl. Okay, moving on to our cowl. The first thing you want to do is get 3 pieces of our pattern. And what that's going to consist of, and you can rewind the video if you haven't wrote it down, but just the standard pattern of the chain 16, skip 3. Again, you can rewind that, and then we're just going to need 3 pieces, right? And they're going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows. Eventually, it's going to be 10 rows because we're going to do the border and then the join, but we'll need 3 pieces to sew together for the cowl. So go ahead and do that, and when I get back, I'll show you how to do the first piece by itself. Remember, because we always got to do the first one, we have to complete that one, and then how to attach the other ones after that. Okay, so after you've completed your 3 pieces of 6 rows of this mile a minute pattern, we're going to go ahead and attach. And I just like to attach right here on the side, on one of the, well, at the ends, I guess. And I'm just going to yarn over and get into my 3rd stitch right here. 1, 2, 3, and make a double crochet. You can chain 3 if you don't like the little airborne double crochet that I do. After this, make sure my lighting is right. Okay. After this, we're going to make 1 double crochet, and this is how you're going to make each end. In each of the 3 double crochets on your end, and that's at the top. So that's 3. When you get into the chain 2 space, I'll grab some yarn here. We're going to make 2 double crochets, a chain 2, 2 double crochets, okay, and at the top of each of these 3 double crochets of the previous row, we're going to make a double crochet, pretty much copying what we just did on the other side. 3. Now one end is going to have a V-stitch, which is going to be your other end right here. You're just going to make 1 double crochet in that. Because this is our beginner row and we just have the half double crochet that we started with, you're just going to go in the middle of that. That might be a little tedious. I think I crocheted it a little tight, and just make 1 double crochet. Then we're going to jump over here, and at the top of these 3 stitches, which are your double crochets, you're just going to make another double crochet. And again, we're just repeating. Okay, so we're at another chain 2, so we're going to make 2 double crochets, a chain 2, and 2 double crochets in that chain 2 space. And then 3 double crochets, and remember, sometimes that stitch right here will be hiding. We're just going to make 3 double crochets in the next 3 stitches, or at the top of the double crochets in the previous row. And then we are going to ignore that chain 3 space and going to automatically move into our side stitches, and we're just making 2 double crochets in each of those. They are either going to be the chain 2 or they're going to be the double crochet. We're going to skip that tiny one, remember I pointed out previously, and just hop right into that bigger space and make 2 double crochets. And that's what you're going to do all the way around and then mirror what we just did for the end, and then come back around, and I will meet you when we're done with this, and I'll show you how to join the other ones. Okay, so you have already completed the border for your first piece and fastened off, and then just take your second piece that you're going to attach. And what I've done is I did the exact same thing that I just showed you how to do, the 3 double crochets on top of the previous 3 double crochets, and then 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and then all the way around up until I finished that 3rd double crochet set of this side. Okay, so we're going to grab our first piece. What we're going to do is we're going to match that 5th stitch. 1 2 3 4 5, chain 1, and then do the exact same thing over here. Match it 1 2 3 4 5, so I know which stitch to go into to slip stitch and join. It's usually right there where you fastened off. Get on camera here, and we're just going to slip stitch, chain 1, and this should put you right to our next space where we're going to make our 2 double crochets for the second piece. So we're going to make the side border, 2 double crochets, chain 1, go to your piece across the space in the middle, because we're matching those 2 double crochets. We're going to slip stitch, we're going to chain 1. Again, I'll do it again, and then I'll show you what that looks like when I say match. 2 double crochets in the next chain 2 or double crochet space, chain 1, and then match over here the spaces. And it's the same thing as we did for the scarf, only we did single crochets for the scarf, or the infinity scarf border, and you will see how these are going to match up. We're just using the spaces in between to slip stitch. So go ahead and work that all the way around, and I will meet you back. Okay guys, I wanted to show you real quick before I let you go ahead and attach the 3rd piece on your own. When you're at the very end of attaching your second piece, be sure that you're matching those chain 2s together and you're not off. You're just going to chain 1 and then go ahead and slip stitch into that last space, single crochet, and then come back to your piece and pick up with the 3 double crochets on your end. Okay, now at this point you might want to take your work and pull it out and make sure that you have all your stitches matching. Okay, right here, your double crochets matching for each row. And if you got like a lump or something, that means you skipped a stitch or something like that, and then you'll just go ahead and just take it out and redo it. It's should be super easy to match. So yeah, go ahead and add the 3rd piece, and when you get back I'll show you how to do the fringe part. Okay guys, so you should have already attached your 3rd piece. I just want to show you how it's going to come together. So that's our very first piece already done, and this is our last piece. I started right here and I went all the way around, and now I'm back here. I just finished my 5 double crochets, and I'm going to take the first piece, count my 5 double crochets, chain 1, and then after that 5th double crochet in there, I'm going to slip stitch, chain 1, and then come back to my very first space and then make my 2 double crochets. So go ahead and finish up the side right here, join, go ahead and sew in your ends, and when we get back we will be moving on to the final piece, which is the fringe. Okay guys, I just wanted to mention before we start the fringe segment that after you have combined all 3 of your pieces, you'll need to decide which side you want for the front and which do you want for the back. That way you can work all those ends on the wrong side, flip it inside out, and then sew in those ends. So I forgot to mention that. So I've already done mine. I've already sewn in my ends. You can see how it's grown. And what I did is I took, if you want this amount of fringe, I took 4 strands, okay, on this one. So it ended up with 8 strands of dark gray and 8 strands of light gray when you fold it. So that's what I did, and those are 16 inches long. What I did is I just took my tablet and I just wrapped the yarn around my tablet. If you do not know how to make a fringe, I will post my video in the information box. So what we're going to do is just take one whole piece. Remember, these are 3 pieces that we sewn together, and we're just going to put fringes all the way from one end to the other. Now the fringe is up to you, however thick you want it, however thin you want it. If you decide you don't even want that on there, you know, I would, you know, just leave it at that. But it's super easy. I'll just go ahead and grab some fringe here. We have, I'll just show you real quick, 2, 3, so I have a beige and a cream, and I'm going for the same look. I think that fringe, so we have 4 of each color, but when we fold them it's going to be double, so that's where I get the 8 of each color. 3 and then 4, and then after you get them all added and everything, then you can trim them however you want. You can do them straight across, you can do them at an angle, but definitely I'm just going to show you real quick. You can start at the end, the middle, however you want. It's your scarf. So, and I think, yeah, I just put 1 in there. No, I did. So you just grab your yarn hook, pull it through. I like to pull it up a little bit, open that up, stick your fingers in there, and then pull the strands through. Okay, secure them, and then there's your fringe. So go ahead and finish that up. I will finish mine, and then I'll show you the finished product on the mannequin. And also I have a surprise, a number 3 project in this video. We had the infinity scarf, the cowl, and then a regular scarf. If you didn't like the infinity, I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. Okay guys, this is what it looks like. You can see where I've trimmed the fringes, and you can either wear this with the top, the pointed part up, or you can wear it down. And here it is with it down. It's totally up to you. Again, let me go grab this 3rd freebie scarf, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay guys, this is my 3rd project free that I'm just throwing in here. What it is, it's the exact same pattern as the Xfinity scarf, except I only used 1 strand as opposed to 2. And then instead of joining it for an Xfinity pattern, I just put fringes at the end. And they're still the same size as the cowl fringe. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Please share the video, and I will be coming up with patterns, matching hat patterns in my next video. So if you want to be notified, again, please click subscribe. So together, let's continue to crochet it forward. Bye now. This is going to be the first hat pattern. And this is going to be the second hat pattern, both using my mile a minute pattern. So I just want to throw that in there. Thanks again for watching. My apologies for any confusion. Let's crochet it forward.